Okay, one of the ways I like to clear my mind while thinking about the topics of investing is by walking through the jungle. I like to reset by focusing on things totally natural. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was the importance of not just the cryptocurrency sector, but progressive technology and things that change the world. It's not always easy to see what things are going to change the world. Like for instance, when I was younger, around 16, 15, I saw Google coming. I saw Facebook coming. But I was in no position to take advantage of any of the opportunities that were there in front of me. So part of the question is, well, what makes some of the good choices of an execution in a campaign? Well, if I could reverse time and go back and look at all the different opportunities that were there, I was just not ready to take advantage of them. So the crypto space is currently sitting at like $300 billion in a market cap, right? Not all that much necessarily. And when we look at Apple with a $2 trillion market cap, this entire sector, that's basically the birth of an entirely new internet, the securitization and tokenization of almost everything potentially, is only worth $300 billion versus Apple. Now I can tell you that this sector is bigger than Apple by a long shot. We have not disrupted the financial sector at all. Now, one of the things, again, I think that's super important here is to understand the length of a campaign. You know, there's a lot of big money players in these spaces. And what you need to do to become a good trader or an investor is learn to think and act like them. There's this idea and this mentality about when you go to visit a guru, let's say, like the composite man is like this, the godhead of trading. Like every trade he makes is to his advantage. He's got infinite time, infinite capital. So we're going to imagine that the market is this composite man or comp man. And because he has infinite time and infinite capital, he doesn't rush to just buy in a trade and go, oh, click, execute, and all his money is gone. No, he takes his time, years maybe, to execute his position and take and acquire or accumulate the focus that he's interested in. So when over in the Bear Den, we've been going over this Wyckoff analysis, right? And really what we're looking at is the footprint, or like the waveform of large market money interests. I myself don't have a few $100 million to play around with, but that money is there. So if we know that the money's there, what are the things that we're looking for that really change the dynamic of what would make me or you or someone else a good investor? No, this is not financial advice. Shouldn't take advice from the guy that wanders around in the jungle eating mushrooms. But what I can tell you is my opinion, my thoughts, what I've come to the conclusion of. If you learn to think and operate like these market men do, market woman, whatever, you know, market operator, the composite operator, you realize that there's time to find a position, right? All the YouTubers out there right now are like, oh, you gotta buy Bitcoin right now, today is the biggest thing in history. Calm down. We have time to execute these strategies. A position shouldn't be like, oh, I've got this much money today, what should I spend it on? No, take your time. Take little bits of bites, nibbles here and there. You know, maybe and by the time you know it, you'll have acquired an entire meal of a position, right? So think about the long-term strategy. Well, we'll go out and like, okay, well, let's say you're going to spend $100 a day. Maybe not all of you can do that, but let's just use it as a nice round number. You're going to spend $100 a day on acquiring assets, right? Well, what would you do? Would you like, okay, well, I'm going to put $10 here. I'm not going to worry about $10. Not going to. Perfect. As soon as you stop worrying about that money, you're executing market size that's important to you. Now, not everyone can do that easily because they get frustrated. Like I've had those moments before too. You're like, oh, it's like a gut-wrenching feeling. Like, oh, what did I just do? Like, how did I make that mistake? Maybe even again sometimes, not just once. We make those mistakes multiple times sometimes, right? So when you're asking yourself, what can I execute on a daily basis to make everything I do put me in that position? Because that's how you end up in that position. You know, it was really eloquently put, and I don't know who would have said this, but my attorney said it to me recently as a quote, an idea that I like to share. Well, what if we told you that 5 years into the future you'd have access to all the capital you wanted, what would you do differently today? Would you sit? Would you meditate more? Would you spend more time outside hunting for mushrooms, whatever it might be? Part of the way people become so successful is because it's not just because they're successful. They are walking a walk. So we don't visit the guru to learn a lesson. We want to visit the guru to see how they be what they are. Right? When you look for a mentor, a teacher, your peers, you want to look for people who have the practice, not just the theory. There's a lot of people can talk about books and economic sciences that they got from their degrees at Harvard and all this nonsense. But I tell you what, if they can't go out into the real world, walk around and not die in the jungle, the street smart level is almost totally gone. So I know that a lot of the people that follow the Arcane Bear, you guys have this street smart. You're able to, and so this is where I want to thank you actually. I want to thank all the Arcane Bear family members for supporting this crazy journey that I've been on. One of the highlights I think that I wanted to go over was the understanding that when you're investing, a lot of this is kind of like dumb luck. So you want to increase your access to an exposure to positive natured black swans. Someone might call it luck, you could call it randomness, you could believe in it as a faith or a trust in the universe that even through the bad things that happen to you, how close you might be to the razor's edge, that it's guiding you through your own choice to end up somewhere generally pretty beautiful. It is so inexplicably unprecedented that you got here in the first place. The odds are 1 in a trillion. Not just the fact that you and your mom and your dad were able to get to wait, hold on, that's wrong. I said that. I'm gonna have to edit that. Okay, so that your mom and your dad could create you. There we go. This is what happens when you're dyslexic. Maybe I won't edit that. Not gonna edit that. Let's leave that in there. It's good timing. This is a no-cut, one-take wonder. So deal with it, ladies and gentlemen. The odds of that happening are astronomically low. Yet here it is. Here's this universe of experience, this beautiful little river and creek that just keeps flowing. These vines that grow up the trees. From whatever randomness and divine faith or trust, we've made it here. And I think when we start to appreciate the fact of how wealthy we are, well, what happens if you get exactly what you want in the future? What would that mean differently today? You know, when I was younger, I had a partner who had a lot of money. So we would fly business class, we had nice Porsches and BMWs. It doesn't change how grateful for you are when it's raining and you go stand outside and you just appreciate the fact that you're on a planet flying through space, like floating around a rock in circles at a pretty, like where we just happen to have a temperature that's suitable for all this life to explode in front of us. So this is about investing in blockchain, and I understand this is a long-winded rant, but I wanted to make it because it's Saturday, and Saturday and Sunday are like my free flow days where I don't chart and analyze or necessarily focus on that area. This is my freeform days. There's something so important about your interest when you're investing, your bewilderment, your fascination, your eagerness to learn. If I could tell you anything, if I could share anything, I would share that bewilderment, that excitement to wake up and see a new day arrive. Because once you have that wealth, that richness, there's nothing in your way. You know, Osho was another one that was quite prominent, right? Osho, spiritual kind of guru guy from the 60s or 70s. Now, I'm probably wrong on some of the exact details here. Wasn't my time frame, but I know the rumors and the echoes of the story because I'm I'm like my friends, so ageless. But Osho was a spiritual leader and a guru of his time. And he always had like a bunch of Rolls Royces and big mansions and followers out in California. And there was a TV or a news reporter like, well, you practice all of this like non-materialism. Why do you have all this stuff? And he's like, do you think you would be here posting this news to thousands of people if I didn't? And there's a relationship right now where we're going through is writing a story together. There's nobody in charge here. There's no big grand conspiracy. It's pretty much blind luck that all of this is working the way it is. And even though that's like the easiest way to boil it down mathematically, once you have faith in your walk through the unknown and you put consistency into it, you show up every day like a student, ready and excited to learn more, there is nothing stopping you from becoming not just a good investor, but a better person. Investing isn't just like, oh, I'm going to put money somewhere, it's going to make me more money. Well, what happens when you get that money? Are you going to study music? Are you going to do art? Are you going to spend more time with your kids, with your family? Are you going to build orphanages? What are you going to do when you have that time and that money? So ask yourselves those questions. Well, what happens in my day if I already made it to where I wanted to be? If it was guaranteed, would you do something different today? Just don't think I would go fly, I'd get on a private jet. No, just stop for a second. What would you do differently today for you? Like, would you get a private trainer? Well, good, you can do sit-ups, you can do push-ups. Would you eat healthier? Good, you can buy a banana. Hopefully you can buy a banana. If you can't afford a banana today, really, let me know. We'll send you some money through the Digifox app. So make sure you download the Digifox app. You can find those links by going to your Play Store. Not in our description, but they will be. No, I don't have time for this video. We're only limited on time. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to take the time and invest in yourself and in your portfolio and do it calmly and doing it with a willingness to trust that what's coming your way is worth being grateful for. Anyways, this is Tio with the Arcane Bear. I'm going to leave it at that long-winded rant today. I don't know what the point was. Just say some stuff, share a video, and because it's the weekend, why not? I want to, again, thank you guys. All the new private members, over 100 new private members, Jesus. And for those of you that made it to the end of the video this far, please note that we are going to be raising the prices to double what it is now because of the influx of people and some other things that have been going on in my life that I'm very excited to share with you guys soon, eventually, at least. So thank you for that. That's just, what a beautiful thing. Wow. And then, yeah, so keep that in mind if you want to decide to do that now. I'm not trying to pitch any of you guys, but just be aware, once we do that and we start to raise the prices, it's because that's done for now, to some degree. So look at that as a change in character and a movement into an SOS, a sign of strength, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.